This free step-by-step video comes to you directly from Haynes, creators of the world's best repair manuals. Fix your car or truck the right way with our accurate and reliable information at your side. You can complete more than 200 jobs on this vehicle when you purchase the complete online manual at Haynes.com.
Alternator replacement. Open the door and pull the hood release lever located just above the driver's side kick panel. Slide the hood safety latch to the left, then raise the hood upwards. Release the hood prop rod from the clip on the right side of the engine compartment and place the prop rod into its slot in the hood. Loosen the cable clamp nut and then disconnect the cable from the negative terminal of the battery. Remove the coolant reservoir mounting bolts and move the reservoir out of the way without disconnecting the coolant hoses. Open the door and apply the handbrake. Chock the rear wheels to prevent the vehicle from rolling. Remove the front wheel hubcap using a large flat blade screwdriver or tire iron. Loosen the front wheel lug nuts. Place a floor jack under the reinforced area of the rocker panel seam. Raise the front of the vehicle and then support it with a jack stand placed under the rocker panel seam. On the opposite side, place a floor jack under one side of the body just in front of the notched area of the rocker panel flange, then support it with a jack stand placed in the notched area. Remove the front wheel lug nuts and remove the wheel. Remove the inner fender splash shield fasteners, then the shield for access to the drive belt tensioner. Place a wrench on the tensioner pulley center bolt and rotate it counterclockwise until the belt can be removed. Remove the belt and slowly release the tensioner. Damage to the tensioner or possible injury can occur if the tensioner snaps or springs back without the belt in place. Remove the belt from the pulleys. Squeeze the electrical connector locking tab, then disconnect the electrical connector on the back side of the alternator and move the connector out of the way. Use a small blade screwdriver to release the locking tabs of the plastic cover, then flip back the protective plastic cover for the positive terminal. Remove the battery positive cable nut and then detach the cable from the alternator. Remove the alternator harness bracket bolt, the engine harness bracket bolt, then disconnect the electrical connect to the coolant temperature sensor and move the harness out of the way. Remove the oil dipstick from the tube. Loosen the alternator upper and lower mounting fasteners. Remove the alternator fasteners, then carefully work the alternator out from the lower mounting bracket and guide it out of the engine. It may be necessary to use a small pry bar or screwdriver to free the upper mount of the alternator before it can be removed. Install the new alternator and maneuver it to align the upper mounting holes and the alternator top with the bracket. This may take some wiggling or possibly even a little force to align the alternator with the bracket. It may be necessary to press the inserts on the alternator outward to make enough clearance for the alternator to slide into the bracket. This can be done using a small hammer to tap the insert outwards. Install the alternator mounting bolts and tighten it by hand at this time. Tighten the alternator mounting bolts to the specified torque setting. Connect the coolant temperature sensor electrical connector, then install the harness bracket bolts to the engine and alternator and tighten them securely. Move the coolant recovery bottle out of the way, then connect the battery positive cable to the alternator and install the nut. Connect the harness electrical connector to the alternator, making sure it clicks into place. An audible click can be heard when the safety lock connector is locked into place. Tighten the nut securely, then secure the protective plastic cover over the positive terminal. Reinstall the dipstick in the tube. Starting from above, install the drive belt over the pulleys. Working from below to install the drive belt over the lower pulleys, rotate the tensioner. Then make sure the belt fits properly into all the pulley grooves. It must be completely engaged before you remove the wrench. Install the inner fender splash shield fasteners, then the shield for access to the drive belt tensioner. Install the wheels and tighten the lug nuts by hand. Raise one side of the vehicle at a time, remove the jack stands, and lower the front of the vehicle to the ground. Tighten the wheel lug nuts to the specified torque setting. Reinstall the front wheel hubcap, making sure it's fully seated against the rim. Install the coolant reservoir and tighten the mounting bolts securely. Connect the negative cable to the negative terminal of the battery. Tighten the cable nut securely. When the battery is disconnected and reconnected, the vehicle may experience abnormal driving symptoms while the computer relearns its adaptive strategy. The vehicle may need to be driven 10 miles or more to regain smooth operation. Certain other convenience functions might also need reprogramming.